Hey, keep it going for your host, guys. One more time for Ryan, everybody. Yeah. It's good. It's good to be here, guys. Good to see you all in person. This is wonderful. No more fucking Zoom shows. This is great. This is perfect, you know. It's good to see you all. I grew this beard because I stopped flying, so make the most of it, you know, make the most of it. I haven't been able to grow a beard before the COVID pandemic. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Now's the time to do it. People's comments change every week. You know, in the first week, they're like, oh, I like the stubble look. It's interesting. Right? 2 weeks into it, they're like, oh, rugged look. Dangerous. 3 months into it, they're like, whose side are you on? Are you with us or against us? Like, what is the plan? And the longer my beard gets, the more they turn into Batman, you know? Tell us who you work for. They say beards make you look suspicious. I think that's bullshit, man. I think beards make you not get away with a lie, and that's what that is. You just keeps you honest, you know, because this is a walking forensic lab. You can't get away with a lie with this, you know, like, think about it, right? Like, it's serial killers, politicians always, you know, getting away with stuff because they're clean shaven. They're not leaving evidence behind, right? One person. Yeah, people, if you think your man is cheating on you, make him grow a beard. You know, because this traps all kinds of smells, you know, and then you can sniff his chin to see where he's been. Yeah. I did this joke, and then one woman raised her hand saying, hey, my husband cannot grow a beard. And I was like, yeah, he's definitely cheating on you. It's been a pretty productive 2 years for me. I finished Netflix. That was cool. Finished all the documentaries on Netflix, man. I saw a documentary about the Rubik's Cube. Riveting stuff. The world record for solving the Rubik's Cube is 4 seconds. I was like, that's incredible. But why'd I have to watch this for 2 hours? Like, this could have been a TikTok video. Yeah. I like watching Planet Earth documentaries because you get a lot of facts and figures about human nature. It's amazing. I love this show so much because you get to know about animals. You know, David Attenborough was talking about the capybara, right? The capybara is the largest rodent on the planet. It's the size of a small German shepherd. It's like, that rodent is a dog. I was like, this is a useful fact I can use in useless conversations, you know? One of my friends was complaining about his rodent problem. I was like, hey man, look on the bright side. It's not a capybara. That's the largest rodent on the planet. This is just a baby mouse, you know? You should continue staying here. The rent control is totally worth it. Yeah, they have all these storylines around the animals. You know, he's talking about the bonobos, right? The bonobos are the only other primates that mate for pleasure. Here's Jack looking for his Jill. Producer just chimes in, Jack and Jill are actually cousins. Even better. There's this one episode where they show these walruses climbing up a cliff, okay? And then they just commit suicide. They don't even know they're committing suicide. They're having their Einstein moment, or the Newton moment, you know? They're just falling off a cliff, discovering gravity for the first time. And I was like, how did the women get on top of the cliff? Like, that's, you know, because all the male walruses are going up the cliff. And I was like, shit, dude, this is awful. You know, and at the end of the episode, Attenborough's like, climate change is ruining all these wonderful creatures. I was like, dude, you were there. You could have saved them. You could have put bungee cords or parachutes on them. You know, like, you have all this equipment, all this money. But instead, capturing their death in 4K was more important. That's what's happening on TV. Thought I'd give you an update. Oh man, it's been interesting times the last couple of years. You know, I gained a bunch of weight during the pandemic. You know, the quarantine 15, and I found it in a strange way. You know, like, you know, you've gained too much weight when your Face ID on your phone stops working. It's a subtle fat shame filter, you know. Yeah. But I got this Fitbit, tracks your steps, also tracks your sleep, and it gives you points for both. And I've been using this for the last 2 years, and it turns out I've been sleeping more than I've been walking. And Fitbit's like, you're crushing it. I'm like, thanks, Fitbit. You're such a good workout buddy. Sleep, food, and sex, man. That's a trifecta of pleasure. I think sleep wins over food and sex because it's free. Food and sex so much more expensive, right? And when you have good food and good sex, you get better sleep, so sleep always wins. I told this to a friend of mine. He's like, hey man, I think you might be depressed. I was like, you're just jealous because you don't sleep well. Every year at the beginning of the year, I buy clothes that are one size smaller, just to motivate myself to go to the gym. And at the end of the year, I measure my progress and donate all those clothes because getting a tax benefit feels so much better than a runner's high, It's the exact same feeling. Fuck, I gotta file my taxes. Fuck. I'll just get an extension. Yeah, I procrastinate. They say that's not good for you. They say, but I have a counter theory, okay? Like, they say evolution is the survival of the fittest. I think evolution is the survival of the laziest, right? Because at some point in time, there must have been a lazy hunter who couldn't keep up with the fit hunters, and he stayed back in the cave and hooked up with all the gatherers. And here we are today, guys. Like, that is evolution 101. Checks out. I don't know, man. It's been interesting times. I've been in the Bay Area for 17 years, and I've changed as a person. I've become very progressive. Like, it's good. It's good for you. But I've become so progressive that Indian swear words have no effect on me. The last time I went to India, I cut someone off in traffic, and the guy just yelled at me, "Behan ke laude," which translates to "sister's dick." And I was like, that's so progressive. This rickshaw guy is an activist. Full support to you, my friend. The Bay changes you, man. It's great. I like living here. I like living in America because there's a lot of electricity here, Yeah, you have so much of it, man. It's crazy. Like, we have a real power consumption issue in India. There's 1.4 billion people, and we have a lot of power outages. So when the lights go out, we just start making more people. We just adapt and call it foreplay, You have so much electricity here that it's used to electrocute people. Oh, too dark for you guys? Like, that is the truth, man. In fact, a dentist invented the electric chair back in 1881 in Boston, Massachusetts. That's how long electricity's been stable in this country. That a dentist in the 1800s is like, I'm gonna pivot. I just want to see that Shark Tank episode, Some dentist just walks out, "Hey sharks, I'm a dentist by day, but at night my real passion is killing people. Would you like a test drive?" That's how they spoke in the 1800s, I've seen it in Back to the Future Part 2. The references are accurate. Oh, nice. I like your outfit. Christmas is early. This is wonderful. This is great. All right, sorry, that just distracted me. I have ADHD, I have to take some medication. All right, that was wonderful. Fuck, dude, it's been so fucking crazy the whole last 2 years, and it's good to see you all in person. They said that Zoom was the reason we got through the pandemic, right? But I think we're missing something. The greatest piece of technology that got us through the pandemic was the mute button. The mute button saved more jobs than any other invention. But it had a side effect. A lot of racist people saved their jobs too, Yeah, so I'm gonna invent an app where it looks like you're on mute, but it records everything. Yeah. Lots of you got silent real quick. All my cousins are messaging me on WhatsApp and all that stuff. They go back and forth with their ideologies. It gets political very quickly. One of them is on the left, the other one's on the right, and they go back and forth. And I interject all of their messages by sending them porn clips because we can agree on something. And they shut the fuck up for 2 days. That's great. Yeah. I'm out going out a lot more now. So going grocery shopping, and I feel like this pandemic has really affected me in some ways where I can't really explain what's happening. Because people's conversations get stuck in my head now. I was at the grocery store and this British guy was talking to his wife, and his whole conversation just stuck in my head, you know? He was just talking to his wife. We're gonna get biscotti on Saturday. Saturday's biscotti day. And on the drive back home, I'm, yeah, biscotti Saturday. I was like, damn, this guy's accent colonized my brain. And I was like, wait, what is he doing on the other days, you know? He's just going up to his wife, it's strawberry sundaes. I like British people, man, because we have some unfinished business. You know? Meghan Markle went on Oprah to complain that the British royals are racist. Oprah was like, wow, I had no idea. Every Indian person's like, duh. Yeah, I take all my, British friends to Indian restaurants to bridge the cultural gap, you know. Took one of my British friends to this Indian restaurant and he goes, sorry, not a huge fan of this whole spicy food business. I prefer sandwiches. And I was like, hey man, a long time ago, a bunch of your people killed a bunch of my people for bags of chilies. So we're gonna have this freaking food. And you're gonna pay for the bill. Your diarrhea is a small price to pay for colonialism, okay? Because Indian food is the BDSM version of food, you know? It looks really messed up at first, but when you get into it, it's very enjoyable. You sweat a lot and you get to nirvana real quick, you know? We have safe words like more water, so. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. Back to your hosts, everybody. Ryan Goodcase.
And one more time for Abhay, everybody. Give it going for him. All right. We have reached...